Hello everybody, I'm back in Kansas for a couple of days here over Easter break, and I'm back down at the Arkansas River, and I'm going to be looking for some agates and fossils and anything else I can find today here in the gravel bars. And I also have a little bit of sieving equipment along, so I hope to do a little bit of gem sieving, try to find some small garnets or other gemstones that might have washed out from the Rockies here. So wish me luck. I'm really excited to be back out here and hopefully can find a bunch of good stuff today. One of the first interesting things I've found today, it's this big chunk of kind of feldspar and quartz, but it's got this inclusion of mica, I think. Maybe pyrite, I think it's mica. Anyways, it just really glints in there with that bright metallic color. It's kind of cool. I don't think I'll keep it, but a slightly unique find here. I don't think I've really ever seen anything like it before. Just found this little fragment. This is actually a piece of a bison tooth. Oops. So it's the enamel on the outside, then there, dark on the inside. So that's encouraging. It's been a long time since I've found a whole bison tooth here on this river, so hopefully that day is today. I have a little piece of petrified wood here. This is a really fine grained one, so it's a little hard to see the grain, but it's there. That's a decent little piece for this area. It's kind of cool looking. There's another big chunk of jasper back in the background there. Not very high quality, but that's a pretty common semi-precious gem here, whatever you want to call it. Chert jasper. Anyway, so we'll keep looking. This is a nice piece of that pretty common gray agate type we find here, kind of a pseudo agate. So it has some like banding and fortifications, some little botryoidal area there. They're not really true agates per se, but they are pretty cool, and nobody really knows exactly where they come from, so it's fun to speculate a little bit. Here's a nice gemmy piece of honey agate. Just a small piece, but very translucent. It's got that white husk that you associate with this type of agate. So yeah, nice little piece. What you have to understand is if you're gonna try to actually find stuff out here in the river, you have to walk quite a few miles of sandbars, just looking at the ground, trying to pick out anything interesting and different from all the regular gravel. So it really is pretty time consuming, and you don't always find crazy stuff. Today I haven't found anything that notable, but it's really good to be out here again, and you know, maybe one of these days I will happen to find something really cool again. So yep, we'll see what we can find. I found a few more interesting things here, at least mildly interesting. Here's a little agate that has some cool little eyes and banding. I think this is still technically the same kind of common chalcedony that we're finding with those gray agates, but this is at least a little bit more detailed and colorful than some of the other ones we found. Here's an interesting piece of jasper. Just really smooth textured. Still got some of the husk on there, or some cracks and stuff. Just, I think looks kind of cool. Definitely very waxy and smooth. And then finally, here's another piece of petrified wood. This is a nice little square block of it. You can kind of still see the bark texture there, and the grain going through. So yeah, cool little piece there. I just dropped it. Cool little piece. Hopefully I can find a few more interesting things here before I leave. Here's a really nice big piece of what looks like petrified wood, or jasperized wood, because it has a very nice solid jasper feel, but it has wood grain and texture, so I guess that's what it is, but that's a nice big piece. Very nice color and texture too, so yeah, it's a pretty good piece of wood for this part of the river, so that's fun to find. Here's another piece of very similar jasper / wood. This is cool. It has a really mossy texture. It has a bunch of healed cracks in there, but really cool texture in there, so definitely kind of a neat piece.
But I've been looking around for a while more and I haven't really found too much else, so I think it about wraps it up for today. It's really fun to get back out in the river again and find at least a few interesting agates and jaspers. Nothing too crazy. The gem panning didn't really pan out. It's really hard to figure out where the heavies would concentrate in a river like this with no actual hard bottom. So it's a lot of trial and error. I didn't really film much of that because it wasn't productive, but I'll keep trying that, and hopefully one of these days I'll be able to show you guys some actual small gems that I can pan out there, but we'll see. That might have to wait for another day. But again, just beautiful to be out in this gorgeous spring weather after being stuck inside doing schoolwork for the last couple of months, so really fun. Hopefully I can get out again pretty soon.